there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit, okay? So what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside.
So actually, this is a pretty solid video. It's a really good baseline, but that's kind of all it is. So in this video, I'm going to show you details on how to be prepared for a nuclear attack. When I was first learning about nuclear attacks, the very first video that I ever made about it, I was saying to actually leave my home and to go into some sort of concrete structure because my home was not concrete. And everybody says, just go into your basement, right? But if you don't have a basement, what are you supposed to do? And, you know, in my mind and some of the literature that I was reading at the time was just to get surrounded by concrete. However, just how far you need to be from ground zero to survive a nuclear blast depends on many variable factors. This is an interesting site. I'm going to put the link down below. It's called nuclearsecrecy.com/Nuke Map. And so I'm actually going to clear all the effects here. I actually just did want to test it out, but this is a nuke map. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do New York, and we're going to do, you can actually go into the little, like, which nuclear bomb do you want to, you know, see work, right? So I did the North Korea weapon tested in 2013. I want to see casualties, radioactive fallout. So this is going to be an air burst instead of a surface. A surface will act different than an air burst. Let's go ahead and just look at the air burst. So we're going to go ahead and detonate. So this does say the estimated fatalities, because there are so many people in this little spot right here. Like, it looks little, but there's so many people here. That's 181,000. Estimated injuries over 500,000, and this is within a 24-hour period. It says in any given 24-hour period, there's an average of 1.5 million people in this blast range. Let's go ahead and just see what it would look like. Los Angeles. Okay, so let's go out a little bit. All right, so we're going to do a different one. We're going to do the where is it? There we go. The topo, currently in Russians' arsenal. And the same thing, airburst instead of surface. Okay, in any given 24-hour period, there's an average of 4.3 million people. So the casualties are much more, almost 600,000 people. Injuries, 1.4 million people. So with Los Angeles here, we have the fireball radius right here. The moderate blast radius here, the thermal radius right here, and then the light blast radius right here. That's a huge, huge area. It just is. If we do like a surface, let's do surface. So surface detonation is a little bit different. There's going to be a bit more, as you can see, there's a bit more radiation from surface. So with the surface here, as you can see, fallout contour for 1 rads per hour, downwind cloud distance is 358 kilometers. You can see that right here. It goes way up here, all the way, almost reaching Las Vegas. Isn't that wild? From Los Angeles, it's almost reaching Las Vegas for the fallout, for this fallout. And then this fallout contour of the 10 rads per hour is this here, reaching into Death Valley. And then this fallout contour of 100 rads would be here, reaching into past Barstow. And then the fallout contour with 1,000 rads is about-ish in here. I mean, it's a little more concentrated, but you can see here a surface would be quite more, it would be a lot more fallout. Let's just put it that way. The power generated by the blast, the weather conditions, geological features, so many other things. But one thing is for certain, buildings can shield people from radiation. Beyond the immediate destruction and fire zone, sheltering in place is recommended both for fallout protection and to keep roads clear for the responders. This is a bugging in situation. Any structure can help reduce your exposure to fallout. Your home that you live in right now will reduce your exposure to fallout. If you do have a few minutes to get into a more robust structure, if you have something like a brick or concrete structure that you can get into, of course, those are going to be much better. More adequate shelters outside of your home will be things like basements, particularly against a wall, brick or concrete structures, office buildings. There might be like underground sections of office buildings. You may want to check those out. There's lots of office buildings that have like a little tiny underground spot. Your home, even if it is, a wood frame, it will protect you. Not as well as like a brick or, concrete structure, but it will definitely protect you. If you have any storm shelters, go ahead and go into your storm shelter. Don't look at the flash of light. If you see any type of flashing bright light outside, don't look. Just stay away. It's like looking at the sun. Don't look at it. You will absolutely 100% go blind. So duck and cover behind anything that can protect you. So, if you hear the blast or you feel the blast or anything, you have any sort of notice about the blast, get under something and try to just duck and cover, and it's kind of like an earthquake. You want to duck and cover. Find the nearest building. If you are outside, like if you're out hiking or whatever, you want to find the nearest building as quick as possible, whether it's a bathroom, like park bathrooms, whatever it is, find the nearest building. And those park bathrooms are usually made of brick or concrete or something like that. So always know where the nearest building is if you're out and about. But if you're at home, just stay home. Keep as much of your skin covered as possible. Radioactive particles are itty bitty. The less that gets on your skin, the better. So when you do, if your clothes are contaminated, remove them and take a shower with soap and water as soon as possible. Showers will wash the radioactive particles away. Do not use hair conditioner because radioactive particles can actually bind to the hair conditioner. There are various factors when it comes to how long until the nuclear fallout is safe, as in, when can I go outside? Most people will tell you that you need to stay inside for at least 72 hours. Some say just 24 to 48, but honestly, to be safe, I would try to plan to stay completely inside for 72 hours. That includes your pets. That includes sheltering all of your pets for a full 72 hours. And of course, we have long-lasting effects which could last many, many years. It's crucial that if you have any medical issues, that you plan to know how you're going to be able to continue to care for those medical issues, especially during that 72-hour period. Surprisingly, survival is actually very likely. Even Hawaii's Emergency Management Agency says that based on the size of North Korean nuclear weapons, thousands and tens of thousands of people will survive. This is also something you have to think about with your pets or any of the food or water that is outside. If you have any of those things that are potentially outside, chickens, livestock, all those things, they can all be contaminated. So you will have to think about this in the future. So having that food and water indoors or at least protected in a shed or something is going to be extremely important. If you do know that something like that is happening and you have livestock, let's say you have a barn or, the chicken coop or something, secure them in there for their own safety. Your garden, I wouldn't rely on that outside garden at all anymore in the future. The top 2 ways to remove radioactive components and particles from water would be reverse osmosis or distillation. Those are 2 of the most guaranteed ways that will remove the majority, if not all, of the radiation particles from water. These are the 2 most recommended systems. Now, there is also a filter by Seychelles that will help to remove radioactive particles, The fact of the matter is, the more radioactive it is, the shorter the half-life. This is why most people say that after the first 72 hours or so, it will be generally safe to go outdoors because the exposure of the radioactive particles are slim to none. And any radioactive particles that do stay, you'd probably be getting more radiation standing next to a light bulb than you would from that radiation that happens to be sticking around. If you feel you happen to be exposed to some nuclear fallout, like you were driving home and you had to get out of your car from your house and you felt like maybe you had gotten exposed a little bit, there is the IOSAT tablets that you could take. Be sure to follow the directions, and I also have a video covering this entire topic. There are so many variables when it comes to a gas mask. Do you even need a gas mask? I think it's a really good idea to have one for just in case. If you do have to go outdoors, you will need a full suit as well as the gas mask for at least within the first 72 hours. After that, you may or may not need to wear it. You do not need to wear the gas mask indoors. It's really only if you are going to be outside or if you're going to be traveling away from the danger zone. The gas masks are not supposed to be used 24 hours, 7 days a week. That is not what they're supposed to be used for. Have plenty of food and water inside your home. Have plenty of entertainment. Have plenty of supplies for lights out. More than likely, there could be blackouts during this time if you are in the affected areas. Lastly, keep in mind that even if you are not in a specific affected area, let's say you're on the completely opposite end of the country, you're still going to want to be on high alert and be as prepared as possible. Bugging in is probably your best bet in this scenario. But if you feel that there's another location that's going to be right for you to evacuate to until things start to settle down, that's completely up to you and your emergency disaster plan. But depending on where the nuclear blast was held, there could be ripple effects to your area, such as lack of food, reduced fuel sources, truck drivers, and a variety of things could be happening here in which you may have a reduction in the supply chain for who knows how long. Could be a couple weeks, could be 30 days, could be longer, depending on what exactly is being affected. Alternative communication is going to be extremely important in this time. Radios, ham radios, GMRS, walkie-talkies, any of that type of communication in which you can reach out to people even during a blackout is going to be extremely valuable. During this time, there could also be a little bit of chaos going on outside because of unpredictability and the unprepared. This is why it is still essential that you do stay indoors, because you do not want to get involved with whatever is going on outside, and that you do still have plenty of home defense options in place. Never say never. I didn't create this to fearmonger. This is on everyone's mind, and I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to be prepared. So be prepared and take action today to give you the best leg up possible in whatever situation we face in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.